Well, regardless if we had won or didn't win, today was a win to start off with. Jaron Jasper was here at the game. So for that young man to be here, um, just unbelievable. And second of all, just proud of our players. Man, just what great kids. What great, great kids. I don't, I don't know why I'm so blessed to coach these guys. Uh, they come to work every day and just coach the greatest kids. My wife and I have a barbecue on every spring, and we always say the same thing when the seniors leave. She goes, "Honey, we got some great kids." I go, "I know, babe." But just proud of our players, proud of their resolve, proud of their grit, proud of their perseverance. I'm proud of those guys just keep fighting to the end, to make some plays. And you got to give credit to Air Force. I mean, that's a really good team, and we knew that. You got to give Coach Calhoun credit. We're just really proud of our players that they were able to find a way to get, win. Zach Abey. I mean, nobody's been on that kid harder than I have, and man, I thought he played a phenomenal football game. Took care of the ball, got us in right plays, ran hard, ran physical. I don't even know his numbers, but he just played really, really well. Just really proud of him. And the other guy too. I mean, Coach Jasper. I mean, took a lot of flack in the media. About our game plan last year against offense is the worst game plan since the cavemen played football and all of this stuff. And Ivan took it all on the chin. He took it like a man and said, "I had a bad plan." And, I put it all on me. He took the whole brunt of it. But I tell you what, he and the offensive staff came up with a masterpiece today. And the amazing thing about it, I don't know how we did it. Some mornings I'd come in and he's just pulling in from the hospital, wearing the same clothes from the previous day. I don't know. It's hard enough to be a Division I football coach, but to go directly to the hospital right after work and come in the morning and start early again the next day, I have no idea how he did it. But he and the offensive staff came up with a great, great masterpiece. And, my hat's off to them on offensive staff, for finding a way to score some points. We had a hard time stopping them, but we're a team. We couldn't score any points against Tulane, and our defense held us. So there's going to be games like that, but just really proud of our kids and proud of our program and Coach Jasper and Jaron, and it's great to beat those guys.
Questions? Well, you talked about the offensive game plan. It looked as though you put in the New Mexico offense with the zone running schemes.
We've been doing this for years. We just haven't done it. This has been way longer than, we visited a lot of people, but this has been like 8 years in the making. And every off season we do some gun stuff and we dabble in it. But quite frankly, we didn't need it. We were pretty good on offense under center. We didn't need it. So, we practice it and practice it. We dabble it, but it's hard to get away from your bread and butter when you're so good, when you're good at running the option. But we've been dabbling in this. But we made, after last year, we were going to do it. We practice it every spring, every camp, but we never really used it. We use it here and there, but we knew after last year we were going to come back and run the gun stuff. And a lot of it Wags do. We visit with them though. We watch the success of the. But we visit them this year. But we've been doing gun stuff every spring for the last 8 years, almost a decade. We just haven't done it in the game.
Do you think after today you may employ it a little more at times when you feel it might help you?
We just had to spread them out. Their run fits under center. They're just so tight, and they just had everybody up there. We just had to get them moving a little bit. We had, make them use their eyes a little bit. So there was a lot of window dressing with motion and different things. We took the ball off the line a little bit, we just had to get their fits where they weren't so perfect. And so we just had to, do that, and so it worked perfectly.
Did it have any effect that you had seen how poorly they played against New Mexico last week?
Regardless of what New Mexico did, we were going to run the gun.
You
I mean,
know,
it didn't matter. We after last year. I mean, like I said, I had told Ivan and the staff about 8 years ago. I want to get some gun stuff. You know, if we can be good in two, I think that'd make us really, really, really good. You know, I'm the cake boss. I just tell them what to cook and what kind of cake to make, and they do everything. They design it. You know, that's all Coach Jasper and his staff. But after last year, we knew we were going to be in the gun. It had nothing to do with last week. We were going to be in the gun. We
last
we were actually practicing in the bye week. You know, I was just hoping Wags wouldn't write about it. You know what I mean, when he come to practice. But you know what I mean, we were practicing before they played New Mexico. Our whole off week was all Air Force. Now I just told the media we were working on ourselves. We were getting ready for them. We didn't let them know that.
After all that had gone on during the game, can you tell us or describe a little bit what was going through your mind on that last drive, knowing you had a minute or so to score and it'd been the kind of game it was?
I don't really remember my thoughts. Just a lot of praying. Just a lot of praying, and just trying to get guys in out of the huddle. It was all game management. Those were all of my thoughts. Just game management, clock management. You can't think behind. You got to think ahead. Things are going so fast. I mean, your mind's just rolling. What's next? What's next? What's next? And that's how you got to think. I can't tell you what I was thinking. I was just thinking ahead. In those situations, you ain't got time to think. You just got to think ahead.
Coach, undefeated, obviously. I believe it's your first 5-0 start in your tenure here, but how much, I won't ask you about momentum because you'll tell me it's 1-0 next week, but how much is your team where you want it to be right now?
Really excited. Really excited about our team. Just that was a hard fought win, and you had to throw out their record. They played Michigan and San Diego State, which were two top 25 teams. So you just throw out the record. I mean, just watching tape, you knew they were the same, Air Force team. Aaron Wortham, that guy's a really good football player. We knew that we're going to have our hands full, but we got to move on. Unfortunately, I'm trying to go to sleep last night, and like my eyes, one eye's watching TV, and I'm watching Memphis. Is that a 7 and a 0? I mean, it's just So you try. Okay, don't think about that. I mean, they had 700 yards. 70 points against last week against UConn, so we got to move on.
Coach, to go back to the gun stuff as you're calling it, how much did it differ in the second half once you had built up that lead than the first half? Because we had seen a lot less of putting a slot back at receiver, for instance.
Yeah, no, we were just in a different formation. We'd been on twins or slot, and we just kind of got back in a 3-back set, just trying to give us some misdirection. And we can run downhill at them. But it was pretty much the same things. Just Ivan was just dabbling. The formations are just window dressing. People moving around and window dressing, but we were running the same plays and different stuff. But we wanted to run at them. We just felt like just back the ball off, and we wanted to run at them.
Coach, defensive coaches always talk about to their guys about going out and making a play. DJ Palmore made several today, especially in the first half. Especially the very end of that first half when McVay drops the pitch, he scoops it and goes. How big was that sequence there early?
That was a huge deal because they were moving the ball, and he just stayed the course. That guy's been phenomenal. He's been our leader. He's led by example. He's a servant leader. He knows how to lead. And when you have a leader like that, it's easy for people to follow because he's the first guy to practice. He works hard. He runs to the ball. He doesn't ask anything of anybody else that he isn't doing himself. And so when you have a leader like that, if you're another guy, you better fall in. If you're a young guy, you better fall in. And I'm so grateful that guys like him, our leader, proud of Daryl, came back today, had a phenomenal game. Daryl Bonner, our other captain. But that's what this program is built on, just leadership. That's what this school is about, leadership, and it's great to see it manifest itself in football.
Coach, you've talked at length about the progression of Zach and his maturity as a signal caller and a decision maker. And late in the game, trailing, you're forced to put all of your trust in. He came up with some ginormous pass, but the fourth down completion that kept the drive alive.
The kid's a good football player. I mean, we've known that. Our big thing is just, and my thing, Unfortunately, he's been shown on Showtime. My thing is just take care of the ball. But other than that, I mean, he's a really good football player. And we've seen the last 3 weeks, you know what I mean? I say that, you know what I mean? The first game I'm yelling at him, I didn't realize he had 200 yards at halftime. I mean, the guy is a really, really good football player. And he's being coached by the best coach. So we just knew, you know, hey, settle down. And the kid's coming to his own, but he's humble. He comes to work every day. He doesn't say crap. I mean, you get on him, he just nods yes and just keeps going. You know what I mean? He's a phenomenal kid. He comes from a great family, great parents, and they've raised a tough sucker, man. He's a tough kid.
Kenny, what about Malcolm Perry? He's obviously over 100 yards again, third straight game, whether it's returning kicks, catching the ball out of the backfield, obviously running the football. Just talk about what an absolute spark he's bringing to you guys on offense.
We just got to be careful that we don't wear his legs off, because everybody's like, you know, we want him at punt returner, we want him at kickoff returner, we want it for the reverse, we want it for the halfback pass. I mean, everything. So who do we want to get the ball? Malcolm. And he's done phenomenal. But again, here's another kid, so humble. He doesn't say anything, comes to work every day. These kids are such a joy to coach, man. And he's a heck of a football player. Nice heck of a football player.
Dovetailing with what TC was asking, can you just talk about, you practice 2-minute offense all the time for situations just like what you encountered today? How proud of you of the offense as a whole to execute? They had to go down and score a touchdown. Field goal wasn't enough, and they took it down the field in, a minute 52, I think.
Our staff's been together a long time. Like I said, Coach Jasper is the best. Called some great plays. He prepared the offense. We work on that every week. You know, you work on it every week. You hope it doesn't come to fruition, but when it does, you got to execute, and the kids did. You know, we protected at the end, and we got the ball off. We almost, got Cologne on that first one. And, fortunately, we came back and got Carmona on the second one. But that's a testament to our players and the offensive coaches planning it and them executing.
Did you feel like the things they did offensively would bother you as much as they did? Did you expect this kind of game?
I hate playing those guys. I mean, they're a good team, man. They are a good football team, and they got really, really good football coaches. Coach Calhoun and his staff, to me, are one of the best coaching staffs in the country. I mean, and we know this is going to happen. When Air Force Week comes, oh, here we go. You know what I mean? We just know we're going to strap it on, because that's a really good football program. They got great coaches. We know a lot of their players. We try to recruit them. I mean, a lot of their players visit both places. You know, we get some, they get some. And it's always a battle with those guys. And so I have tremendous respect for Air Force football program, Coach Calhoun and staff. But I didn't expect anything differently.
Talk about the game-winning drive. It's minute 52. You got to go the length of the field. You have to get a touchdown. Field goal's not enough. Tell me what was in the mind of the whole offense.
I mean, I think Coach Niumatalolo, he pretty much said it. We practice that a lot in practice. So I think in everyone's mind, we all knew we had to score. And I don't think anyone had any doubt that we weren't going to score. It was just about executing. We came up, made big plays when we had to, like on that fourth down. And, guys did their job, and they never felt sorry for themselves. They never, they just out-toughed the opponent.
Zach, it was your first game against Air Force, but obviously you had last year's experience against Abey. How much did that help, especially keeping you calm when it got tight late?
I guess you could say it helped, but at the end of the day, it's just another football game. It's obviously a bigger spotlight. We don't like to lose to other service academies, and I was able to feel that both last year with Air Force, just being back in the locker room. It's something we didn't want to feel again, especially at our home stadium. And then obviously in Army when I played. But I think throughout that game we controlled the whole game. I don't think anyone had any doubt that we weren't gonna win it. I mean, I think we were confident in each other. Defense played a very great game, and then our guys on offense executed.
It was a different version of your normal offense that you ran this week, and Coach was telling us you practiced that for quite a while. Can you tell us a little about how it was different for each of you? How hard was it to adjust to that for a 1 week thing?
Yeah, we practiced that in camp a lot, and then just throughout the week, throughout the week in the season. We've been practicing it, so really it's not much different. It's really kind of the same offense, just spread out more and then a lot more moving parts. Just different guys going different places. I think all the A's and the skill position. They did a great job just knowing where to go and what kind of like zone blocking they had to do. So that's really what it comes down to.
As a follow-up to that, did you run something similar to that in high school where you were coming from the shotgun more?
Yeah, so my high school offense was pretty similar to that. We ran kind of like a spread option, so it felt. I liked running it. I felt comfortable in the shotgun. So,
Mr. Carmona, you're a running team. What went through your mind when you heard your number called for the winning play?
We practice a lot in practice, and a big thing in the wide receiver room is, when your number's called, you gotta make the big play. And luckily, Zach, threw an amazing ball, and our line blocked well that play, and it's kind of, it was an easy catch from only because Zach put it in a good spot.
Did you have the same confidence that Zach had that you guys could go down and score a touchdown in that crucial situation?
Definitely. Throughout the game, I felt like we controlled what we wanted to do on offense, and we've scored on one-play drives, and we got in the huddle with a minute 52, and I was looking in everybody's eyes, and we were confident. We knew what we had to do, and kind of like how Zach said, we practiced it a lot during the week. We're always ready for situations like these, and kind of unfortunately we had to go through a 2-minute drill this game, but it paid off in the end.
Malcolm, can you kind of talk about what you all did offensively? Obviously, lining up in the backfield as opposed to in your normal position for a slot, and the zone running schemes on that 191-yard run. That was the zone running play that you found a crease.
Right. Like Zach said, we practice that a lot. Not much changes. We're just in a different position. Like Coach said all week, we gotta make people miss. And luckily on that play, that's what I did, make somebody miss, and good things happen.
Tyler, tell us a little bit about the mood in the huddle from play to play. We're up above, and you guys are down on the field, and Zach's taking play calls, and tell us about the cadence and the mood and the energy, and how do you keep that all in check, and what that all was like going down the field.
I think how I said before, we never. As an offense as a whole, we weren't ever really worried. We executed throughout the entire game, and we got in the huddle. We were on the sideline, before they kicked it off, and we all knew. We didn't really even talk that much. We just were looking at each other. We knew we got lined up. We knew we had to go. Start doing signals. Our old classic offense, and we just executed and. The fourth down was a big play, and then from there on, everyone just executed what they had to do.
Zach, how much was Malcolm's 91-yard touchdown run kind of a shot of confidence for you guys early? And if you could just kind of talk about his development on the offense with you guys.
Yeah, that was huge. That was actually one of the zone plays that we just put in. So it was a different kind of scheme. We don't normally zone block on our offensive line. So yeah, Malcolm, like you said, all week, Coach has been saying, make one guy miss, and there's no one there. So Malcolm did a great job, just making that one guy miss, and then it was off to the races. I think that gave us a lot of confidence because now we know, this stuff works. What Coach Asher put in, it's a great game plan. We have answers for everything, So yeah, it gave us confidence.
For any of you guys, at the end of the game, when you guys are stopped, you have to punt the football away. They come down and score, I believe, first lead of the game. You guys hadn't been stopped in the whole second half. Momentum swings in their favor. You mentioned you knew you had to score, Zach, but for any of you guys, you sit down, what are you talking about on the side? And then also, is that the kind of drive at the end of a game that can define an identity of a team moving forward?
Yeah, pretty much what was going on the sideline was we're just talking about it. We're going to win the game right here. This drive, we're going to win the game. Play like we have been because, like you said, we haven't been stopped much. It's hard for them to stop us. So we're going to play our game. Nothing's changed. We're just going to play our game. We're going to drive down the field, and then we're going to score, and we're going to win. So that's what we were saying to at least the offensive guys.
Well, DJ, first and foremost, as a senior, that game gives you a chance to get the Commander in Chief's trophy back if you can finish against Army. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, I mean, the goal wasn't to be there for us. It's just the first step. And that's it. We really want to do this game for the guys that came back. I know Obey, Meyer, Cross, some guys that were seniors when I was a young cat, and we didn't pick up those games. So it's good to see them there here and getting that win. And just like seeing how happy they were. But it's just the first step.
The whole group obviously really did well in the first half of the game. Talk a little bit about what they changed that you guys might have struggled a little bit with picking up in the second half.
So we were kind of like, man, we weren't getting the pitch guy quick enough. So they took advantage of that, like the first few drives, but they just made plays at the end of the game. Like, they just made plays.
And you were obviously able to get some pressure on the quarterback, and they were still getting outside of that pocket. I think of the one where you almost had him down on about the 20 or 25, and he scooted all the way to the 5. I mean, we're talking about inches on some of these plays that end those drives.
Yeah, he was a great athlete, but when we held him as much as we needed to because we got the win, but it just happens. Like the other team's gonna make plays. We're not gonna stop every single thing they do. We definitely could have played better in the second half, but we'll just regroup and move on with it. We got to win the night.
Obviously, in the first half, you played great. Tell a little bit about the effort in the first half when you're forcing fumbles and turnovers and really you've got them on their heels.
I mean, when they're turning the ball over, putting the ball on the ground, that gives us all the momentum. Whether we recover it or not, the ball on the ground, especially with a triple option. You know, most triple options don't have plays for first and 13, first and 15, or second and 15. So that kind of stopped a few of their drives, and our energy was just way higher than theirs. When we got that first stop, we had the momentum. Then Malcolm's run, like it was all uphill from there, all downhill from there.
Kind of forgotten with everything that happened there late in the game, but late in the first half, the pitch that McVay drops, you guys make a play. DJ, talk about the scoop and then taking off with it because that was a critical moment that changed a lot of momentum in the game.
Well, so my roommate's mom went to Air Force, and I've been telling him all year and his mom that I was gonna get a scoop 6. And I didn't use the scoreboard to see where the quarterback was at, and I ran straight into him. But I kind of picture myself making that play if the ball's on the ground because I'm kind of like in the middle. So it's like it's a high possibility that I get that play, and I'll just execute it when it came my way.
Sean, just some of the big pass plays they hit. I know that you all are playing the man-to-man coverage, but they got loose for a few big ones. And just what happened there?
Just a couple of call differences and a communication error here and there. We were trying to be aggressive in our defenses now. So when you try to be aggressive, there's less leeway for mistakes. So just within that, like DJ said, they're gonna make plays. We play until the game's over.
Any other questions for me?
Just one last one. Tell us a little bit about that last play and all the laterals.
The last play, I said they're gonna have to drag me off the field. I'm not stopping until the ball's down. And they almost did. I was sorry.